Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for another couple of episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, and we're very excited to be here, finishing this first core. Now again, this is probably something I should try to figure out. Was there a gap? Let's find out. This will inform my discussion. Yes, I've got this first core running from October to January in 2022 into 2023, and then I've got the next one starting in April. So there was a 1-season gap there, I guess. So yes, with that on the kind of agenda, with that in the expectation, we can expect something pretty big to happen at the end of episode 12. Again, I'm just going to come right in and say it. It's Delling is over party, everybody. Ding dong, the witch is dead. He will cease. He will cease this episode, I think, or in this kind of 2-episode chunk. And yeah, of course, that'll have ramifications going out to every part of the plot. He's the king. Well, tantamount too, so, you know, obviously the king being dead's going to create a power vacuum, hence the rest of the show. That would make sense. Either way, YouTube comments. This will help to frame the discussion as we continue with the video, starting here with Kasogtha. First and foremost, being a little bit hush-hush about 2 new robots, mobile suits, whatever you want to call them, that we saw at the end of last episode, the end of episode 10. Dawn of Fold is entering my mind, something like that. The Earthian kind of, I don't know, they're almost like rebels or something. That's the kind of vibe they give off. Which, again, I probably underanalyzed them last week, if I'm honest. Associated with a lot of vegetation, as kind of Miorine's been doing her thing with the vegetation as well, with the plants, with the garden that she has. Kind of like this uniting thing for Earthian peoples. Yeah, I guess we'll play off of that as we continue and learn more. With what we saw last week as well, Shadiq seems like the big player here. He's the one pushing this thing forward, taking other people's plans, pushing them to the nth degree, employing people to come in and take out Delling, pretty much. Like, he seems important. Let's continue to say it, right? Even more so than, like, a Guel. I think Guel's just, like, setting up for a face-turn type arc, you would think, right? Where he becomes good and joins the good team, or whatever. And Elon's weird, especially Elon number 5. Don't know what we're doing there yet. Scary stuff. Going through that battle in episode 9 here now. Yeah, Earthian House are not exactly... They don't have the best pilots in the world, and again, don't have the technology and the kind of mobile suits to back it up either, so of course they get squashed. Fan favorite Choo Choo does put up a good fight though. Shoutouts to Choo Choo. And of course we had Grassley's secret weapon, Antidote. That was kind of the... I called it like an EMP field that kind of expanded outwards and stopped the gun bits from doing their thing. But again, the only other time we've seen this effect is during the prologue, right? And the father, like, he was pretty much completely dysfunctional after that, right? He couldn't do anything. Where it seems like this is only reducing the capacity instead of eliminating it, right? So what's the vibe there? What's different about Soletta and Ariel this time as opposed to the father and his mobile suit back in the day? And this calls into question that scene early in the show where Elon was in Ariel, right? And was like, oh shit, everything's working perfectly. This is awesome. So again, from that we could pull that this is entirely Ariel, right? Doing all the heavy lifting here. But if that's the case, that calls into question what the father was doing in the prologue. Do you see what I mean? So is Soletta special in this regard? Is there some connection between Soletta and Ariel that is making this more possible? Again, I'm kind of taking a step back. I'm going to let the show do its bit there instead of me just trying to predict everything, I guess. Dominicus, or the Dominicus Corps, are the spec ops for Cathedra. So... like, that's the people that we employed back in the day when we wanted to take out the Vanitas Institute, Oxearth, that whole thing. Yeah, so them not doing anything is suspect, because their entire purpose is to take out Gundams. It's like... And again, with that in mind, keep it in mind for Guel's stuff. Again, I'm predicting he becomes good, so he joins Team Gundam when his ambition was to join Team Anti-Gundam. See what I mean? I think there's like some significance there, I would say, right? Now, honestly, this paragraph, I don't have much to say about it. It's kind of self-explanatory, I think, and goes into something that I didn't even consider, really, about prosthetics and stuff. Clearly, this seems well-researched from Kasogtha, so shout-outs, I guess. But yeah, I'm not sure I have much to add. But either way, I can talk about Delling. Delling being a bad dad, but a good business person. Good businessman. Again, it's going to be a mix of emotions for Miorine when Delling dies. Again, I'm taking that. I just think it's going to happen, man. I'm sorry. And again, we'll analyze that if and when we see it. Guel is now Bob. Hello, Bob. Bob is taking over the internet or whatever that stupid copy pasta was back in the day. We get to see Earth at last. Like in most Gundam series, it's not in great shape. We'll have to take your word for that one. Yeah, it seems post-apocalyptic. And again, the other part we saw Earth, right, was during that part with the factory protests. That seems pretty dystopian as well. Not great. Probably the type of place that would garner some level of criminal underground activity and rebels and people that would want to assassinate certain other people and stuff. Just, yeah, food for thought. Wait, Sydney like the city? Is that what you... No, we need that. Don't drop a space colony on them. And yeah, Elon number 5 is here, planning those ideas just on the right, like, level of timing as kind of Soletta goes and meets with Miorine, and yeah, not great what happens there. All the kind of storylines converging on Plant Quetta. So looking forward to that in this 2-episode chunk. Next comment here from Pencil Sharp. For good measure, the Earth Girl, I'm going to say Nerea, is another Aoyuki role. I didn't pick it up immediately, so that's on me, but I'm going to guess that these Earthian characters are going to be pretty important. It was Nerea, and it was one that started with S from memory. Anyway, I'll pick up names again as we continue. The one that started with S, she was like crazy, I think. Next comment here from Molly, who kind of has some justifications for that really weird scene with, I think it's Renee and Lilik. And basically it's like in the closet talk. So in reality, she likes she and can't admit that and makes up some bullshit excuse about like a backup boyfriend or something. Which I guess I can see. It talks to that kind of level of delusion that kind of comes with that kind of territory. But unless this gets further developed, I'm just happy to drop it as like a weird piece of comedy, I guess. I laughed. I liked it. What is this? Everyone's saying that this Bob guy is a new character. It's Guel. Stop messing with me. It makes me think that I'm doing something incorrectly. Getting a viewpoint from just regular Joe or regular Bob, as in this case, can show us how big these moves impact the normies out there. He's not a normie. He's the son of one of the major, like, guys, major, like, houses. And yeah, last comment there, just going into that team battle where, again, kind of the indicator to the audience that you shouldn't focus on the Earthian back characters there during that fight and that they all die immediately is that they all have the same suit. If somebody's got a unique suit, they're probably going to do something cool. If they don't, they're just fodder, man. It happens every time. I should probably, again, use a little bit of intelligence there and predict that kind of stuff. Either way, that'll do it for the YouTube comments this week. Let's shout out those patrons. Again, I have a Patreon. It's linked in the description below. If you're really hankering for that next upload, it's up there already. $6 a month. Seems pretty good to me. Many people have done this, up to and including Mickey Babbers, Trials++, AJ, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Christopher Konechny, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Ferdinand Hernando, Fleur Nightingale, Fried Rice, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yanko Yavanen, Jacob R, Jummy Boo, Joran, Kosogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Lasher840, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, SGM Jarnus, Skeleton, The Lazy Panda Man, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akumancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, and Backslash. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And I've kind of set us up already. Essentially, Plant Quetta, everyone's meeting there. Delling's going to be there on Delling-related business. We have these kind of Earthian rebel-type characters, Dawn of Fold, kind of making their way in there as well. It's kind of those two girls and the guy, I want to say Naji, something like that, who has a connection as well to Nika, so that's one to watch for later, when that kind of liar revealed story happens. Soletta and Miorine are on their way there as well. Basically, Soletta's there to pick up Ariel, so Ariel's going to be there too, if you want to personify the robot like that. I don't know if Shadiq is going to be there, but Shadiq's definitely watching. Our good friend Bob is going to be there, so that's another good one. And I don't know, whoever else they want to throw in there, I guess. That's clearly what's going to happen in this 2-episode chunk. Events will occur. Large prediction of Delling being dead, kaput, 6 feet under. There's many other ways you want to say it. And yeah, let's go and watch the Delling is Over party with episode 11 coming right up. Rightio, I have episode 11 up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 8 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I'm using the Judas file set, so get that copy if you want that copy. Should be very similar to official stuff. If not, picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Spaceship. Oh, everyone's going to be here too? Oh, I forgot to talk about, like, Soletta and Miorine are kind of off each other. She wants to be of use. There's a lot more going on, but sure. Otherwise I'll be left behind. Yeah. We'll see. What happened, Soletta? Oh, because you overheard the conversation. Okay, I got it. I'm there. Little cow icon there too, I never noticed that. Cute. I like farm animals. Just not the scary ones, like ducks. Don't like ducks. Nah, I don't know. What else can we talk about, man? Yeah, I didn't really set up that Miorine Soletta thing very well. Yeah, Soletta feels like just like everybody else, I guess, which is counterintuitive, right? Because she wants to feel just like everybody else in the kind of school sense. She wants to just be a normal kid and experience those kind of things, but she thought that she was special to Miorine, and Miorine isn't really showing that off in a great way at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see, are we going to like... Whoa, that's new, right? Yeah, that section was new. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at these freaks. Dude, I love when the opening changes. We'll need Soletta to prove herself to Miorine in a way, right? To the point where Miorine realizes how important she is, and then that kind of thing. Will this episode be that proof? We'll see. Or this kind of section. I'm going to imagine that says Plant Cueta. It's being blocked for me. Very cool. I like that Belle's just hanging out. I guess she is an employee. Fair enough. I gotta do it for work. Just calm down. Yeah, you're in your own head about this, man. They're there to help you. I don't know. Oh yeah, this meeting too. Quiet Zero? Oh, really? Okay. And then you were like crying tears or whatever. Interesting. More than 20 years, by the way. So what is Quiet Zero? Yeah. For now. Sophie, that was the name. Oh, he's got a very long head. Huh. What are you talking about, man? Okay. Interesting. McDonald's, finally. That was a weird, kind of bird's eye shot there. You're in your head about this, man. Are you gonna get a McDonald's hamburger as well? No way! Always messing up my order, man. The hamburger metaphor is crazy. All alone in your ship, huh? Hmm. Interesting scene. Look at this evil motherfucker. Oh shit. That went 0 to 100 real fast, real quick. Oh, I see. What an odd thing to say, man. But 2 hours. The Prince. I'm playing my Game Boy. Girl crush? Maybe a little bit. That'll be interesting, I guess. I don't know what to say. Oh, is this the guy? He he's had too many hamburgers as well. Huh. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're just in the bathroom. Okay, I thought you were in Ariel. Never mind. Actual mothering taking place? Parenting? Yeah. Hmm. I think you're getting in your head about it a little bit. What? Oh, thank you. Can you repeat that? I kind of forgot the numbers. Ah! Oh, yeah, okay, you heard everything. Mirine's dead? Oh, that's great. This video game level. She's also got, Ah! She's also way taller, so she can run faster. Okay. Confronting it. No, it was a hamburger. You just need some support, yeah? Ah! Don't punch her in the tit. Like, I mean, that's gotta hurt, man. Now, I thought we'd get here a little bit later. Interesting. Yes, right away. Okay, boss. Wasn't that sweet? Forever? Hey, yo. We'll say. Ooh, be my tomato farmer, too. That's pretty clingy. She's been crying the whole time. There you go. Reciprocated. Alright, well that's that over then. Very quick. Now I thought that would have been combined with the plan. Is when we would have made that realization. Ugh. Terminator. Whoa. Almost. Would have been a crazy sneeze too. And then there's the jam. Yeah, okay, cool. What is Elfrith? Hang on. Hang on, chat room. Gundams? Oh, okay, we finally paid off on this too. Cool. It's lame, but it's a gift from you, so I'll treasure it forever. Where are we? Yeah, I thought so. Huh. I'm risking it all, says Shadiq. Interesting. So Nika kind of didn't know it was today? Also, there's a fly in my room and it's annoying the fuck out of me. Okay. That'll do it. Sounds awesome, by the way. Because he was... Okay, so he needed to get out of Dodge. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. That's why the 2 hours. Ooh, pink. Sophie the murderer. She craves blood. Alright, save your wife. Come on. Quickly now. Oh! Separated. Oh, is this going to be a Sophie Soletta thing? Okay, what's your plan then? Can she hear you or? Okay. Thank you, the witch from Earth. Sure. Is that going to be like a? That's almost like Yandere vibes, right? A little bit. Yeah, if it does go that direction, is that going to be like a Miorine needs to fight Sophie for Soletta type thing? That could be a direction. Maybe I'm too many steps ahead there. I'm happy I found out what the kind of 2 hours meant, because I was like, why does the 2 hours matter? Okay, basically Shadiq is double-crossing Jaturk. Fair enough. Like, because it's like two birds, one stone. We're going to take out Delling, and we're going to take out the head of Jaturk as well. Which would be, if that does happen, that'll be a mix of emotions for Guel, right? For sure. Also, Guel's pretty switched on. He's like, why do you guys have, like, the backing of Jaturk right now? Like, he noticed that immediately. I thought that was pretty smart, too. I guess I'll let the show do what it's going to do, but I really thought that kind of Miorine and Soletta coming back together and kind of reaffirming things would coincide with the big conflict. It wouldn't happen before it. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. We'll see what they do, but again, I would have done it differently as it stands right now. But now we're separating them again. I don't know. Again, we're letting Jesus take the wheel. It's the next episode called, chat. Keep marching on instead of running off. Sure. Freaks. And yeah, onwards and upwards with the final episode of this core, episode 12. And there we have it. Episode 12 up there, ready to go. 23 minutes and 58 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I thought that maybe this would be a longer episode, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Picture and pitch in the description below. Judas file set. Let's jump right in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm recording, which is good. Okay, a little bit of replay from last episode. I should look up a voice for Sophie, too. Because she's great. I'm a proponent of Sophie at the moment. Yeah, communications got jammed, bro. You're a psycho. Okay, that's a lot of faith. You will come and find your sister robot. I mean, she's right. But yeah, consistently, Prospera is putting Soletta in harm's way for her own personal gain. Will Soletta find this out? Will she confront her on this? Dunno. Compare and contrast with the way that Miorine treats Soletta. Another interesting one to follow there, just while she's on screen, is Nika. How much did she know about what's happening here today? How much guilt will she feel? Why did she do it in the first place? It seems like... Did Shadiq provide Dawn of Fold with something to the point where they feel indebted to him? Right? Like, he's, like, funding these, like... I don't want to say terrorists, but kinda, on the side. To the point where they feel indebted. Now, I know I'm going to forget it, but I should have a look at that new stuff in the opening, too, when I get down to analysis later on. I want that Nerea girl to speak some more so I can see the Aoi Yuki-ness of it all, but anyway. Yeah, okay, that seems bad. You'll pilot one. You finally made a monkey out of me. Ugh, look at that freak. This Rajan guy's interesting, too. Has he been in the show? Maybe. Sophie's a bit of a loose cannon, chat. Oh. You know how to push her buttons a little bit. Interesting. Oh, hello. Yeah, how about, hey, I'm glad you're safe. Just... Can Delling die already? Like, come on. Speed that up. Okay. Data storm. Fair enough. Executioner style. We love to see it. And these guys are the Dominicus guys, right? We'll see. The power to go even further beyond. If that's the worst of it, you'll be okay. Okay, so it hurts like hell, but you can get to 4. Gotcha. Yeah, to the point where you can, like, overpower 4 Dominicus guys. I think you're dead, buddy. I mean, you're not wrong. It's a moral grey, chat. Things are looking bad for our heroes. Need you to get an aerial, buddy. Come on. Is that who I think it is? Yeah, Daddy's in a bad way. Yeah? We need more context, chat. Alright, now this is Naji and the gang. Okay, the soldiers are here. Murder Nation. I think you're about to get shot in the head, yeah. Something at the framing there. Yeah. Oh, shit. Love a good panic attack. Thoughts? You didn't know. And are you gonna... Thank you. Literally saved our ass. What were you doing? Oh shit, no! Okay. They know she's a cop. Well, not even a cop. She's like the anti-cop. But anyway. A rat. Okay, Daddy, how we going? I need to stop calling people Daddy. It's odd. Okay. Have fun, man. Yeah, where's Guel? Go get him, Bob. Yeah. This will be interesting. Does he know? Dad's literally killing my ass. Was that like... Yeah, that was like a back missile. Is there some way to tell him what he's doing? Okay. I can't say I thought this is where this was going. Holy shit! No, you cooked his ass. Okay, bye. Now that's good gear. The thought of Soletta made me murder my own dad. Good. Anyway. Yeah, I feel like... We're running out of time for Ariel to come in and beat us. Well, that's where I am. What? What did you just... What made that noise? Did you kick a pot on the ground or something? I need a hero? There's a hero. Dude, thanks, Mom. Take off the helmet. Sorry, I just had to murder some guys. Yeah. Murder is okay if it helps you achieve your ambitions. You can murder too. This is fucked up. You're right. It is time for me to murder. Step onto the blood. I think you're about to get just sparked by Ariel, I think. Here we go. Shit, that's cool. I like that. Murder them all. Lightsaber. Okay. Yeah. I like her robot too. What about Miorine? Okay, 2v1? Huh? Everyone? Oh, the gun bits. Okay. That's a murder laser. Told you it was gay. You guys didn't believe me. Oh, it's the fat guy. He's here. Alright. The police showed up. We better fuck off. Okay. Goodbye, freak. But, I mean, but Delling isn't, I guess he's fine? Alright, we kind of didn't do anything.
Really? No. Okay. All right. There's a post-credit scene. Everyone, calm down. Uh, yeah. I guess that would. I thought that would feel more finalistic than it did. I guess again we are at the midpoint of the show. Shirik's face there, like he's gone too far. He flew too close to the sun. I guess that's the direction we're going there. But it did result in Jaturk kind of. I needed a name for him. Mr. Jaturk. It resulted in his death, so that's something tangible for him, right? Delling seems injured at the moment. Maybe. I mean, it looked like it went through his heart, but, like, he was still breathing, so, like. I don't know. I guess we'll see. If Delling's dead, then the mission was successful, no? There's sure going to be egg on my face if Delling isn't dead. I was very confident. Maybe you have your cake and you eat it too by making him incapacitated to the point where he needs to move on leadership to Miorine. And then that's how you still achieve that stakes raiser for the duels. That could be a direction. Also, yeah, now, are those Dawn of Fold Earthian Gundams going to be, like, prosecuted? Are they criminals? Or... Okay, here's our response. Ariel? Indeed. What the fuck? Okay, hey, everyone calm down. Yeah, that's a mix of emotions. Yeah, mm-hmm. Murder is completely okay. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I know where the show stands on that now. Good. Yeah, you're right. Indeed, I know. We'll be there. A little bit of art? Yeah, look at that. Hell yeah. Sick. Okay, I'm happy the show knows that murder's not okay. I was like, do we know? Okay, we know. Okay, good. I was gonna say, they're doing a very good job of demonstrating that murder's bad without knowing, but it's good that they know. That's good. Yeah, interesting. That's a direction. Yeah, we'll have a deep conversation about Prospera and what her motives are there and what she's okay with people doing. Because it's also it's tough, right? Because, like, in Soletta's own mind, saving Miorine there through that means is the correct thing to do, right? And yeah, on a level, yeah, you're right. But also it runs counter to a lot of the other themes in the show. Again, like there's this thing about environmentalism, peace, blah, 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 with the Earthian side. Spacians, again, like the difference between medical technology and weapons, there's that dichotomy there as well. We're obviously playing with that. Is it okay to save lives by killing other lives, right? That's the moral quandary. It's the same one that the Dawn of Fold are playing with, right? It's just two sides of the same coin. What are we okay with doing? And then Miorine's kind of caught up in that as well. She has her own feelings about death and the inevitability of death. And in the process of trying to save her father's life, she witnesses another life end. Again, we'll talk about it more. But just from a broad perspective, I'm shocked that Delling is okay, at least for the short term. And yeah, I guess we'll just jump into a conversation about those two episodes in a little bit more detail. And we're back, episodes 11 and 12 watched. That guy definitely got squashed. He got hydraulic pressed, like into the ground, and the blood went everywhere.
We'll talk about the blood in great detail and kind of the ending there and what that means going forward for the morals of the series. I feel like this is a pretty integral moment to both Soletta, Miorine, and Prospera's character arcs. What are each of these parties okay with? Who is controlling who? When do the ends justify the means? Lots of questions to be had there. Again, I think those same questions are reflected by Dawn of Fold, right? When do the ends justify the means, right? Again, the Earthians are kind of oppressed, right? Pretty clearly, as implied by the dialogue in this kind of 2-episode chunk. Kind of the Spacians just trash the place. I guess that's... Without additional context, that's what I know at the moment. You literally destroyed the place where we live. Is retribution not okay in that regard, right? Again, we're fighting against the established power at the moment, right? And murdering people along the way. Is there a way we can do this peacefully, or is that impossible as it stands right now with the current form of government? Do we need to resist to such a level, to the point where this level of force is okay? Again, when our planet, when our loved ones are at stake, is murder justified? Is revenge justified? And again, as I kind of spoke about there before, this reflected in a lot of the themes of the show as well. Like, hey, we've got this thing between technology and environmentalism, right? In kind of war, the war machine, the industrial kind of military complex, and, life, plants, animals, things that are associated with that kind of side of it. And then, of course, the most classic one is Vanadis versus Ox Earth, right? The combination of both this medical company and this military company. How does that make any sense, Even the combination of both Delling and Delling's partner, who's most certainly associated a little bit more with the sacrificey stuff, right? With the preservation of life, as opposed to Delling, who's on the other side of the equation there. Almost resigned himself to this, based on, again, what I can infer from that conversation, right? I have to be the bad guy here, per se, to keep my daughter safe. It's come into clear and sharp focus that is the major point of the series that we're trying to get to, right? And again, that last scene of episode 12 isn't exactly subtle in that regard. And again, just kind of placing the characters and where they land on that spectrum, I think will be the interesting part from here. So I had a whole thing ready as well with kind of the death of Delling, or what I thought was going to be the death of Delling, and then, okay, are we just going to... do the general public find out that it's Dawn of Folds? Do they find out that it's Earthians? In killing the king, do they only bring more destruction and death to Earth? More disparity, more prejudice, all that other kind of stuff. Yes, they got the short-term satisfaction out of it, but did they doom themselves in the long term? I think what we're implying there from some of the dialogue towards the end is that yes, 2 Earthian Gundams were spotted and at least the Jaturk guy died, and there was a terrorism that took place. That should still bring about what I was talking about, right? We'll start to blame Earthians for that kind of thing, and that'll spiral out. And again, Nika obviously feels very conflicted about such a thing. Where does that go? That's a storyline we need to pick back up on, I think. In general, I guess we need all the characters there on some level, all the side characters, all the Earthian characters, but they didn't really have much to do. I guess the closest revelation there we get is that old mate, the lanky one, he finds out about Nika a little bit, that she's sus. I forgot to talk about Guel as well. That's crazy. He literally kills his own dad and doesn't mean to. And almost like channels Soletta in doing so. That's a crazy reveal, man. That's crazy. What else? Sophie's got a girl crush. Nerea seems like she's the one that's got her head screwed on, which is cool. And Shadiq, I guess his gambit didn't work. He put it all on the line and he didn't succeed. Is Grassley CEO guy going to find out about that and then in turn kind of cut Shadiq off? Like, be like, okay, you were planning this behind the scenes. I didn't say to do that. I said it was too risky. You took that risk regardless, and now you've lost everything. You've lost your family figure in that regard. That, again, another direction to go. This is what makes it a great midpoint, right? Because we have all these directions that I've talked about that will definitely be extrapolated upon. From this point, I don't know how anybody could watch up to here and not want to see this thing through to the end based on the amount of intrigue here. And yeah, there was cool space battles to boot. I don't know. This was a successful session once again. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I hope the reactions came out really well. I do. I really do. But yeah, let's go back through once more. We'll find more evidence for the points I've already said. And yeah, we'll talk about it some more. It'll be great. Man, the start of this kind of 2-episode chunk feels like a lifetime ago, man. It's so quaint. We're just kind of flying in here, and Soleta feels broadly nervous about the events of episode 10, unloved and whatnot. We have a lot of content to get through in these 2 episodes, and we get through it with gusto. We go quite quickly here. This is a great example of using the sci-fi setting to your advantage. Again, we're in space, anti-gravity stuff. Soleta's upside down, cleaning the roof. So one, yeah, she wants to show her worth, so she's cleaning something, she's keeping busy, she doesn't want to... She feels a reciprocational relationship with friendship, like... There needs to be an obligation there for people to want to be around me, so I gotta prove my worth. And yeah, she's cleaning, but she's cleaning upside down. She's got her worldview all frazzled. She's all fucked up, and that's, again, expressed through the sci-fi setting. I think that's great. She's upside down where everybody else is the right way up. And again, that's why we use this same anti-gravity conceit in the scene where both Miorine and Soleta reunite, right? We're finally on that same level. We're meeting each other, you know, face to face, eye to eye, hug to hug. That's pretty smart. I only noticed that just now. Very cool. Here's another case of Soleta being super wound up. There's an emergency. She immediately responds and goes and fixes the problem. And again, even in the dialogue here, if I don't do stuff like this, I'll be left behind. Oh, this is another fun connection. So, she overhears Soleta and Nika talking here. The Nika promotion stuff's interesting too. We'll see how that changes if people learn about her past and who she's associated with and whatnot. But more importantly, this is another scene of Soleta hiding from Miorine, something that is repeated later in the episode where Miorine finally finds her, right? There's also this general theme of overhearing each other but not quite communicating on a level. One-sided conversation over here, one-sided conversation over here. That kind of side of it. I think that's pretty smart too. Oh, even here, I think the implication is that Miorine saw her, right? Because the hair's poking up and she didn't realize that. So yeah, she just thinks you're in here playing with the farm animals or something. You did the exact wrong thing, Soleta. Come on now. Now look at me being smart remembering stuff. I gotta look at this new stuff in the opening. So that would be Ariel with the gun bits fighting against these 2 kind of new guys? No, this isn't one of the new guys. This is somebody else. That looks like the Jaturk guy, no? Oh, no, is it Shadik's? Whoever had the big horn. Whoever this was. I think, no, this was Shadik's. Yeah, hang on. And then these are the 2 Earthian ones. That's probably Sophie's, you would imagine. The other one, Nerea's. Again, if we wanted to base things solely on hair color, you've also got blue highlights in your hair, or lowlights. I don't know what you want to call them. Kind of similar to Nika. Maybe a relation there. 2 kind of sides of the same coin. That could be interesting. And yeah, this Sophie chick's fucking crazy. I don't know about her. She's just gay and crazy. That's a mix, all right. And I think that's all the new stuff. Okay, it was less than I thought then. That's fine. I'm not going to highlight every example, but just know that Soleta is a little bit wound up at the moment and is trying to be useful to everybody all the time, causing her to make mistakes. Now, what is this? I thought we would elaborate on this more. It seems Quiet Zero is coming along well. You brought a Gundam here just so you could confirm that? Didn't you, Lady Prospera? Call me Elnora Samia. Sure. Okay. So again, let's read into the motives here. It seems like Prospera doesn't want Delling to die, right? Because if she wanted him to die, then we would have just let him die. Because it seems like you know what's going on and who's being targeted, right? And you have confidence in Soleta to get into the robot at the right time to prevent it from happening, right? You wouldn't prevent it from happening if you didn't want to prevent it from happening. Why do you want the murderer of your husband, essentially, alive still? Because he has use? Because you have bigger plans? What is this Quiet Zero thing in that regard? I don't know. That's it. Put it on the board of points of interest going forward. Why does Prospera essentially want Delling to continue to live? Soleta and Ariel reached permit score 6, and also Gundam Incorporated has also served as good camouflage. She reaches into her pocket at that same point, and it seems like this Rajan guy. Yeah. Seems like he doesn't really like and is still like suspicious of that shit. So like, don't do anything like that. Like that kind of vibe. What do you mean Gundam Incorporated is like a phony sham cover company for what? What are we doing? Okay, huge point of interest. So we're like using Gundam shit for Quiet Zero? And you're okay with that? What are you two cooking? What are you cooking, guys? This is crazy. Right now, it's still my project, says Delling, and then, but of course. And then me being very smug, I'm like, Delling's not going to live to see the end of this 2 episodes. Shock horror, he does. And you want that to happen. Again, that's the interesting part. I thought you would have wanted to take over from here. Why not now, I guess? Yeah, interesting one. We say these guys' names a fair bit, so I guess I'll introduce them. It's like Olcott, Bessie, and Gristan, who are all also part of Dawn of Fold, who are along here taking some of the mobile suits from this kind of Jaturk ship that they've hijacked. I guess that's the vibe. We also catch up with Naji and Sophie, who are in the bridge at the moment. This is when Guel speaks up and says, hey, why do you guys have Jaturk mobile suits? Guel, unaware of what's going on, Jaturk essentially funding this terrorist attack, right? That's trying to take out Delling. And again, if only the father and the son communicated a little bit, we wouldn't have landed in the ironic situation we do by the end of their relationship, right? Every single time Sophie comes up, I'm just gonna say Sophie is crazy, which she is, so yeah. And yeah, I don't know, she threatens to shoot Bob in the head. We would hate that. No, Bob, watch out. Soletta Burger scene's pretty obvious too. She's just, you know, she wants to be of use. She wants to almost be subservient to her friends to the point where it kind of like freaks them out and like alienates her even more. And then she doesn't even end up with a burger in the end. So I know they're not burgers, by the way. Shut up. Yeah, kind of funny stuff. I don't know. I would have liked a burger. Just steal a burger. I guess Choo Choo's face here is my response to all of this. Just a little bit like, what are we even doing, guys? It's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. So yeah, scene ends with basically a misunderstanding whereby you don't get a burger because, like, you think there's none left for you. It's an extended metaphor for her feeling forgotten by her friend group as well. Like, look at everybody else over here, so much more, like, close than with each other than I am, right? Like, if we just, like, here. Like, look at them having fun. I can't be with them. I don't have my burger to go along with them. I feel like I'm less of a like human almost compared to them. Like they're Earthian and I'm not, and I'm from Mercury. I'm like this alien presence. Like almost that kind of side of it. And then I think the fun part is that we're playing off of the kind of high school trope of like eating lunch in the bathroom all alone. Like I think that attaches nicely into Soletta's general theme about wanting to be a normal high schooler and then experiencing this same level of alienation that again would be present in our world. I think that's cool. I don't know. I just think that's a fun detail. Kind of this combination of high school tropes and sci-fi tropes. We're doing a good job there, I think. Plus points here for Nika for realizing that Miorine's being kind of weird about Soletta at the moment, and that there's kind of a distance between them. Good emotional intelligence. You're still a cop, though. So yeah, that's the setup here. That's the reminder that kind of Miorine needs, which kind of thrusts that kind of encounter that they have later in the episode. We then get a scene here with the Jaturk head, or not for much longer, and Delling. Basically, he suggests doing some shady shit. I think Grassley's one of the targets there as well. And then Delling essentially tells him to fuck off and care about his own son. He doesn't like that and kind of, you know, taps out. But this is also a ploy. It puts a tracking device on Delling's personal security, whereby the terrorists can later find out where he is and murder him. So I guess I'll revisit that a little bit later when we see the shot finally taken on Delling, but I guess we'll see that, hey, we know that he's here. Let's just shoot in that general direction and hope that we're successful. Yeah, pretty sneaky stuff here. This is when we're getting to like almost like spy movie, political intrigue type stuff, which I think is one of the show's best assets. Just, yeah, watching all these kind of maneuvers and hidden agendas unfold on screen is very interesting to me. So then the Jaturk guy gets on the phone to Shadiq and basically says, okay, planted the device, now I'm leaving. Give me a good 2 hours to leave. Right, 2 hours from now, I'll definitely do that, bro. This is when Shadiq probably flies a little bit too close to the sun in that regard. Like, he wants it all, and he wants it all now. So he wants Jaturk out of the picture and Delling out of the picture, 2 birds, 1 stone at the same time. All the while planting the blame on the Earthians. It's a good plan in theory, it really is. But, again, when it fails, and when, I guess, your father, or adoptive father, finds out about all this, and that you've been pulling these kind of strings, rocking the boat too much, we'll see what his opinion of this really is. This guy is a cunt, though. Guess it's tough being adopted. Do your best to win your daddy's love. You're just fucked up. It's a good thing he died, I guess. So yeah, on Shadiq's orders, Dawn of Fold gets told to start immediately, but Sophie here is too enamored with her game station to do anything about that. Look at this hack shit. Fucking Steam Deck looking ass. Get out of here. Anyway, we've seen this character archetype like a million times. Let's just call it what it is. It's essentially a yandere. She's like in love with Soletta to the point where you want to know everything about her and her power level and what makes her different and everything else in that regard. And it's also super gay. So, you know, fits perfectly in the show, I would say, right? Mentally unstable girl loves talented girl. I don't know. High school stuff, I guess. So this is a weird one. I guess this is more set up for later. So we then catch up with Dominicus. This is the logo. I remember seeing this logo, almost like this Knights Templar looking ash stuff, way back in the prologue, right? We saw this. We then introduced to the same guy, right? This guy, but he's put on some weight and he's aged. It has been 20 years after all, or 24 or whatever it was. Questioning if he can even fit in the suit, into the kind of cockpit anymore of the mobile suit. Yeah, very funny. Point being, I was a little bit lost, I guess, geographically here. I thought you guys were nearby, so I was kind of waiting, and maybe even potentially thought at some points that these guys were just kind of here already. But no, that's not the case. They're en route. And when they show up later on, that's the cue for basically us to go. Because, oh shit, the real cops are here. It's time for us to bounce. This guy's being reintroduced into the show for one reason and one reason only. That is for some semblance of redemption for the death of the father, right? I'd love to see Prospera and this guy clash for some reason. Or Soletta and this guy clash for some reason. That'd be an interesting scene, I feel. Especially, again, you had the visual on Elthrith back in the day, right? So, you know. Also, yeah, we'll see it in a moment. The Earthians call their Gundams Elthrith as well? I guess, like, that was always, like, the designation, right? So does that speak to, like, these kind of Earthian Gundams? Did they come from kind of the Venedis stuff back in the day as well? Are they from that similar kind of project that got shut down? Belle and Prospera briefly meet here and say that it's nice that the Gund medical treatment may finally become a reality. Again, their old kind of Venedis stuff coming through. My daughter does make me proud, but it's all shifty, right? Look how evil you look over here. What are you cooking? And yeah, Belle sees it too. Soletta then calls Prospera here, or her mother, I guess you could say as well, and is prompted to talk about her struggles with school at the moment, her lack of making friends, her isolation, all that other kind of stuff. It's important to note here at this point that Miorine is overhearing all of this. I thought you were making friends. That was a misunderstanding. I was just getting carried away. Actually, no one trusts me with anything. They don't need me at all. When I started to think about reality, right? How they actually see me, then this is the only thing that makes sense. All the things I liked, all the things that kind of brought me joy, they're now scary. Again, isolation. I thought there's an interesting thing in the framing here as well, if we go back a little bit. Kind of this kind of stuff, right? Floating in space, kind of in this kind of little ball. It almost makes me feel like you're like in the womb or something right now, right? Like talking with mum, I think there's a connection there. It's like this heart-to-heart between mother and daughter. And again, the anti-gravity stuff that I've talked about as well, everything kind of feels flipped upside down. I'm just kind of floating in space. I don't have any kind of direction here. All these kind of connections coming together to I guess bring the scene to life. There's another kind of the water coming out of the bottle here as well. Yeah, that water coming out of the bottle being kind of like the crying as well. Yeah, okay. Pretty good scene. I like the direction a lot. And this is where Prospera prompts Soletta to go find Ariel, tells her exactly where it is. Your mother and Ariel will be waiting for you there. Make your way there over the course of whatever's going on. But as we find out here, Miorine heard the whole thing, and now she's mad. I can't believe you feel this way, and wants to prove that I love you and stuff. It's all very sweet. It's all very tsundere. It's all very anime. You love to see it. The struggle with the door there, kind of thrusting one way, thrusting the other. Soletta not knowing her own strength, pushing kind of Miorine into the wall over there. She hits her head. The rage boils under her skin, and a chase sequence ensues. They like just go through like their video game level here. Look at this fucking platformer game bullshit. But yeah, Miorine's sneaky tactics here as well kind of slows up and shows a bit of weakness. That makes Soletta lower her guard and come on over, and that's when you initiate the tackle plan. And yeah, they finally have this big old heart-to-heart where essentially, like, Miorine says that you're important to me and you're misunderstanding things, and you're almost... You and you specifically are the reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing now. Again, think about that scene at the conference or whatever, right? Where Miorine felt that she needed to step out on Soletta's kind of behalf and, you know, make this company and do all this other kind of stuff. You got to remember the basis for that, and the basis for that was saving you, right? Every single thing that Miorine is doing from here is because of you, and she realizes that, and she thinks that you're stupid for not, you know? And of course, nobody says what they actually feel because they're teenagers and they're tsunderes, but again, you know, it's lovely that you eventually find out that you are worthy of love and are loved and are respected and have value and all that other kind of good, kind of gooey lovey stuff. Now, a couple of things here are interesting, and I forgot to note one before. The ship that is being hijacked is called Wormblood or something like that. That's a interesting detail when you think about the plant kind of conceit of the show and the growing and the changing and all that kind of stuff, right? Worms are pests, right? They eat the leaves. But also worm blood would imply that maybe the worms are dying. Think about it. Who are the worms in the metaphor when it comes to Earthians? You would imagine Spacians, right? That have kind of come in and harvested the planet and then just fucked off somewhere else. So, like, you know, like, there's something there, I think. And this line is what reminded me of it, right? Soletta considers herself a weed, right? In this grand garden of everybody else and everything else going on, right? Everyone else, especially those with Earthian ties, feel a lot more like actual plants. I'm just a thing that's kind of attaching on. I'm a thing that's sucking away energy. I'm not the flower, right? I'm the thing off to the side. Where again, you got to tell her that she actually is the flower. She's the reason behind everything. Less of a weed and more of the soil almost. But I think we're getting a little bit too esoteric with the metaphors there. Some good character movement stuff here. Really obvious stuff, but like Soletta pushing her away and then you grabbing on regardless, right? Like, get away from me. No, I'm not letting you get away. Like right there, right? Bang. Caught ya. Miorine says, what about your little motto, right? You know, move forward, gain 2, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, Soletta shows some weakness here. Normally very jovial and normally so full of life. Says, hey, it's tough to do that all the time, you know? And then you resort to beating the sense back into her, right? Hey, slap you. Snap out of it. You're loved, all that other kind of stuff, right? Miorine basically says that you're the reason for everything. I wanted to run away. I would have already been at Earth if it wasn't for you. Remember a couple of episodes ago, she even had the opportunity to go to Earth again via those same kind of guys, the space something, assembly something. Yeah, so she's had that opportunity in front of her again, and she isn't running away anymore, right? I have to do, or feel like I have to do all this stuff with my lousy father and this company and all that other kind of stuff because of you, right? But again, this frustration at having to do this is also love, right? I have to do this because I love you, right? Now, I don't know about the tit punch of it all, but, you know, I don't have tits. I can't imagine it's very comfortable. From everything that I've heard, getting punched in the tit isn't comfortable. So, you know, you really, you know, you're putting the pain on right now. It's because of you that I don't have to run away anymore. Arms around, finally an embrace. Instead of the punching, it turns into a hug. Don't run away from me. It's simultaneously holding you close so you don't run away, and of course, a hug, a show of affection. So if you have something to say, then say it. Annoy me like usual, you know, like you have been doing. Don't keep it all bottled in, basically. Say you want me to rely on you. Is that okay? Say it right now. And yeah, we get pretty serious here. Stay by my side forever? That's crazy. And yeah, the tomatoes, give them more compost. That's even crazier. And then she turns like full clingy girlfriend. Like, email me 3 times a day. Hey, yo, I don't know about all that. And then yeah, finally, Soletta returning the embrace here.
and the two just hugging. They're hugging it out. And again, to my shock, I thought that this would have been united with the conflict and that we would have come through okay. I guess we needed to do it this way, now in retrospect, because the conflict is when this relationship is kind of shattered once again, right? Where we turn and we look at Suletta and call her a monster, a murderer, all that kind of stuff, right? So it wouldn't have made sense for the story they're trying to tell and the direction they're trying to take it if we had that reconciliation during the battle itself. It would have felt too quick. So I think this is better in retrospect, despite what I said during the first part, during the reaction. And yeah, basically from here, shit starts to hit the fan. Dawn of Fold start to make their move. Olcott, Bessie, and Gristan, I believe are their names, they come through in their mobile suits. It's immediately noticed by the Plant Quetta people, and then they call in reinforcements. It turns into this big conflict. And yeah, right here at this time, the communication kind of gets jammed as well. This prevents Plant Quetta from talking with outside management. This is when it starts to get pretty scary, right? When nobody can kind of tell what's going on or how serious all of this is, you know? So yeah, we have Sophie and Nerea. Do Knock is the last name there, which isn't Nika's last name now that I think about it, but there could be some weird shit going on there. I don't know, I like my theory. But more importantly here we have Elthrith and Elthrith, whatever the other one was. Elthrith Thorn, of course. Yeah, that's the interesting word, right? Why does that say that? You know, that would associate with Vanitas to my current level of knowledge. I could be wrong there, but sure. Now, what is is something, I think. Hang on. Is a kind of combining form, primitive, original, earliest. So if you're Elthrith, then that probably means that you're like the first Elthrith. In comparison, Thorn's way easier there, right? Because Thorns are like thorns on a rose or something like that, right? The thing that's protecting Earth, the thing that's protecting the flower in this kind of grand environmental metaphor that we have going on, right? If Spacians are going to come down and pluck all the flowers, then I need to be the thing that protects Earth from that, right? Cute detail as well. You finally get your little keychain or whatever. Nice. You think it looks lame, which, again, Nika was right in that regard, but she appreciated the sentiment all the same. But then from here, hey, shit starts to hit the fan, and then the terrorism begins. I guess the presence of Miorine in Plant Quetta at the same time as the attacks going on is also embodying the level of risk that Shadiq is willing to make here, right? Like, he's willing to risk Miorine that he clearly cares about quite a bit to do this here and now, right? Again, if we're going to combine him and his actions into our grand dichotomy of, you know, ends justifying the means and is murdering okay and blah, 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 you're willing and able to put many innocent people's lives at stake to get what you want because you see it as necessary. You see that as the next step or whatever, right? Probably landing a little bit more on the Prospera side of the equation, I guess, on that kind of side of the graph. So yeah, I don't know where the miscommunication came in. I guess Nika was outside when Shadiq was talking to Dawn of Fold, but essentially you're like, oh shit, this could be that. So, but you didn't know it was today, so you were kind of caught in the crossfire as well, and you would have died if you didn't signal them in the next episode too? That's kind of crazy. Like, Shadiq didn't even tell you? Shadiq's like a bad guy, I don't know. And yeah, as an emergency is declared, we're prompting Prospera to leave, but no, she has this almost inhuman cult-like level of faith in Suletta and Ariel to save the day. Again, you're like my daughter. You're this thing that I've created. You know, you're this sibling to Suletta. I won't leave you behind. So I think based on the structure of Plant Quetta as well, we're also cutting off this entire C block. I think that's what both Nerea and Sophie are doing here at this time. So again, basically cutting off any kind of semblance of escape. Like, nobody can get out of here. That's when kind of Nerea, I believe, goes around and is like, hey, destroy all the ships, get all the escape routes out of here, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, disable all the ports, isolate C-Block, all that other good stuff. After those lasers were used on C-Block, it knocked everything around and activated some emergency doors to shut. Suletta and Miorine are isolated from here, only to reunite by the end of episode 12. So again, this very obvious point of this embrace that they had only seconds ago, only for them to be separated by this wall, by this kind of big sci-fi thing. And by the time they come back again, it's almost like you're a changed person. It's
horror on Miorine's face as opposed to adoration and love from before. And this is when Sophie realizes that Soletta Mercury's down there. My new object of obsession. I've found her. She just so happens to be here as well. But I think you miss out on that she can't hear you because communications are down. That's so funny. You're like, oh shit, okay, she can't hear me. I guess I better kill her then. And that's the episode title. The Witches from Earth, of course. And yeah, we don't really have a post-credit here. Let's get the next episode up. Now, this episode, in comparison to the other one, is a lot more kind of fighting. So, and I've kind of already talked about a lot of the thematic stuff already, so maybe a little bit quicker here, but yeah, this is the episode where the shit goes down, man. So yeah, just kind of looking at the mobile suit here, it looks more similar to Ariel than the other ones. Again, probably based off the Elthrith kind of setup, right? They're both kind of originating from the same place to my current level of knowledge. So, sure. That's why they look like that too. Sophie's plan here is to push Soletta to find Ariel. The best way she sees to do that is with machine gun. So yeah, again, not exactly the picture of sanity. We pop over to one of the ports here and we see that Jaturk has made his way to his ship and is talking about the Delancey. He wants to pilot it, he wants to fight, he wants to get out into the field and show his worth and all that kind of good stuff. I won't let that grassly brat make a monkey out of me anymore. And this is when everyone's kind of out in space doing their thing. We have kind of Rajan, Delling's guy, and his crew. They're going to find Delling, trying to see what's going on there. We also have, of course, the Jaturks going up and out into space as well. We already have Dawn of Fold out here. So a lot of things to kind of follow, I guess. And again, this is when I got kind of confused. I thought that kind of old mate, the Dominicus guy, was out there too. But no, that wasn't the case. They come in the very end. So yeah, there's a difference between the Witch Hunters, which I think is Dominicus, versus the plant security guys, which is like Rajan, right? And Sophie's role there was to distract the witch hunters. So they knew that they were coming, right? But Sophie got so enamored with Soletta that she didn't do her job. I think that's kind of funny. One of my favorite character moments here from Delling is when Miorine finds him. The first thing that he says is like, why are you dressed like that? Why aren't you following proper procedure? Instead of, hey, daughter, I'm glad you're safe. Just a real piece of shit dad, isn't he? This conflict here is now Sophie versus the plant security. I think that, again, are these guys witch hunters or not? It's weird to me. Anyway, they have the antidote technology, so maybe they are, to the point where they realize it's a Gundam and then activate that shit immediately, right? But as we learn through this scene, Sophie has access to Permit 4, which can bypass this kind of stuff, right? And she can still rely on that level of power and push through. Again, it's not quite Soletta areas, but it's pretty good, especially for somebody that doesn't have this kind of special connection that Soletta has. This could be another addition as well to my kind of grand thesis with the show as it stands right now. The idea of permit score and the idea of pushing yourself in these data storms and all that other kind of stuff. In order to get what you want, are you almost forsaking your own life, right? Are you draining something that you shouldn't drain to attain power to change things, right? Again, where we're falling on the ethical concern of, is life sacred and should we preserve life? Permit score is this very pertinent thing to that kind of idea, right? Are you willing and able to put everything on the line, including your own life, to get what you want? That's something we should consider going forward, I think, as well, and how that thematically makes sense. And Soletta kind of cheating in that regard. She can access all this kind of stuff without the pain, right? It's kind of what Elan was talking about, or Elan number 4 was talking about earlier in the show. Yeah, action through this episode's just epic too. I don't need to keep saying it. It's just constantly really good, engaging. Again, I could do a little bit better about picking up certain mobile suits and how they differ from other certain mobile suits and potentially figuring out who's who a little bit more, but again, I think that's more on me than the show. I think they're doing a good job at demonstrating who's who. Outside of some of that. I guess, again, these kind of Elthrith aerial type models are easy enough to differentiate based on the helmet, I guess. I think this is an important line as well, as Nerea kind of comes to the rescue here and helps with the destruction of these guys. He basically said, you guys need to stop polluting space with your presence. You Spacians polluted Earth and Rand. You're one to talk. And again, we have a pretty big range of personalities here between Nerea and Sophie, right? Sophie's fucking crazy. She's full on, and then Nerea is very nonchalant about the whole thing and very quiet. You seem like you're the level head in the situation. I want to learn more about you. I feel like we know a lot about Sophie already. She doesn't exactly hide it. But again, that specific word, polluted, into that kind of environmental theme that I keep talking about as well. So Soletta, now isolated and afraid, seeks out Ariel, right? She knows the location from her mother earlier in the kind of scene. And now she's making her way there through the vents. She vented, she's sus, oh my god. And yeah, I was still kind of looking out for when this happened. When was the explosion that caused Delling to be stabbed through the heart? I missed it twice. I don't know. It was probably somewhere there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just being stupid there, but like, why? What exploded to make this happen? I don't know, man. Let's say that the tracking device was pretty important in that regard. Now, this is a scene we're going to have to come back to once we gain additional context, right? So, Miorine is obviously distraught seeing a big chunk of fucking something. Big sharp bit of shrapnel in her father's back, right? Causing him to bleed out and seems like he's going to die. It's a pretty bad spot for this kind of thing to be. I thought it was a little bit more heart-based, but still through the kind of midsection, still pretty bad for your overall health. This is when Delling says that you need to pick the thing with the best odds of survival. The method, I guess. That's what Norette would do. Or not Tret? Not Tret. That's a weird name. Notret, I guess we could imply from the way he said it as well, is the name of Miorine's mother. We decided together, if anything happened, at least one of us should. I don't want your excuses. Why didn't you both escape? Coward, you could have just told me. Okay. It seems that at some point back in the day when Miorine was quite young, they decided that one of them had to survive, and it turned out that it was going to be Delling, right? There was some kind of tragedy to the point where it was either you or me. We need to make sure that one of us gets out of here, and Delling was the one that made it out, for Miorine's sake. So again, it's been this large thing that I've been saying, that Delling isn't exactly as evil as he's being perceived. He's still a bit of a cunt, but that's fine. He clearly cares about his daughter, and his playing that he doesn't care about his daughter is more frustration at the situation and bottling in of emotions surrounding Notret, right? I think that's kind of what we're getting at. From here, we have all these kind of bumblebee helmet dudes. They're going to be the ground force that is going to finish the job on Delling, track him down and do all that kind of stuff. I know because one of these guys gets smushed like a bug later on in a very funny scene. Full of blood, those kind of guys are. Big meat sacks full of liquid. Now, pretty obviously, this whole sequence here is reminiscent of the prologue. Like, the kind of covert nature of it, the shooting people in the head, the whole emergency, and the helmets, and the guns, and the everything. And kind of Soletta's actions are mirrored in a weird way as well. Little Eri, we must remember, was the one that was kind of in the cockpit of the mobile suit, right? And I don't think was specifically shooting, but was definitely involved in that process of shooting. You know what I mean? Like, going out of their way to protect the people that she loves, right? And killing people in the process, is that justified? Blah, 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 blah. That whole conversation that we need to have about whatever's going on. But yeah, again, it's good circular season stuff, right? This is one core. It's nice that we've introduced this stuff in the prologue, and then it's kind of being paid off in a way by the end of that kind of first core. Again, as I said before, I think we've done a pretty perfect job of setting it up to the point with everything being interesting here, this feeling wholly satisfying as a story as it stands right now. Or maybe not wholly satisfying, but you know what I mean. And then also having all this room to expand out into. It's pretty masterful in that regard. Very well kind of scripted and paced. Nika and the rest of the Earth House people are still sitting on the ship. They're obviously not moving anywhere because they're just going to get shot out of the sky. They're just trying to hide, and that's when Nerea and her mobile suit kind of find them, right? This is when Nika realizes what's going on, sees physical ammunition, and then figures that they're Earthian. Again, the reveal to me is that Nika didn't know. She didn't know that this was happening today. And then we notice it seems like a call sign through like a flashing light from the cockpit calls them off, right? Why would anybody on this ship know our call sign if they weren't also Earthian? We don't want to kill those kind of people. Fine. Seems cool. And again, that's the only thing that causes Nika not to die and all her friends. So she saves the day, but again, gets discovered in the process too. Like here, by this guy, the lanky guy. So again, big implications there.
This guy knows. He knows that something's up. Then we have the Jaturk Patriarch guy. He's in the Dolenza Soul, and he's gonna go out and beat some ass. Don't forget that I worked my way up the ladder by personally claiming my rival's heads. Potentially unethically. Oh my god. I never. I'll make you people regret ever crossing me. Again, these people in Shaddiq's pockets. This is getting back at Shaddiq. That's what he sees right now, right? At that same point, Guel learns that Soletta and her Gundam are in the plant as well at that same point. This is when, again, because you kind of had, you're sweet on Soletta, that's when you spring into action, right? It's to save her. And using that same mantra, right? Using that, I want to prove myself to you, move forward, blah, 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 all that other kind of stuff. It directly results in you killing your dad. Which, again, isn't exactly a bad thing from my perspective, but it was obviously going to shake you up and really influence your character arc going forward. I just think it's an interesting point of contrast, especially these kind of parents and their effect on their children and the Prospera Soletta stuff going on this episode as well. Kind of just after this, we see basically Prospera push Soletta to murder. To go out there and do your thing and don't care about the ramifications, right? It's very interesting that Soletta inadvertently inspired this act of defiance, even if you didn't know it, where Soletta at this moment is so very not defiant, where she's listening to her mother almost entirely, right? And not thinking about things on a personal level and, the atrocities that she may be committing. I'm not quite sure how to articulate it, but it's all very rhymey. I like the combination of the feelings here between the characters. Again, kind of as I already talked about, the culmination here being that fight between Guel and his father, whereby neither of them know who the other is. Again, what are we trying to say there? Probably something like, okay, with such an aggressive outward attitude to everything, where we don't even find out who the enemy is until it's too late. Like, is that a good way to live? Shouldn't we talk things out? Shouldn't we think before we act? Which has been one of Guel's major kind of themes with the rest of his character already to this point. I think this is pretty well written stuff, and definitely surprising. I didn't expect us to go this direction. And from the father's perspective, the father's actions here and his kind of recklessness and his want for violence and to take heads and all this other kind of stuff, right? It directly kind of implicating his son and directly kind of hurting him in the process. Again, almost like this is his parenting style coming to the fore, right? It is actively hurting him to the point where he lashes out, even unknowingly, and kills him. There's also an irony as well. You think that, Guel's not a good enough pilot, but him with worse gear still defeated you, so lots and lots of fun stuff. I want to see other people talk about this a little bit more as well. Again, I haven't moved forward after Soletta Mercury, all those thoughts and feelings about her, inspiring the violence here. It's very, very interesting, I think, right? Yeah, and then, I don't know, Dad explodes. It's all very touching and stuff. Yeah, this is a crazy scene. It's probably the peak scene of the episode. Well, that and the whole squashing thing, I guess. Yeah, really, really like this stuff for Guel. And again, as I already talked about, the placement here is very obvious now, right? We then have Soletta, who gets discovered by these kind of assassin-type guys, the Dawn of Fold type people. And again, she's going to be shot in the head if, Prospera doesn't intervene. Prospera is right in that regard. She is protecting her daughter, but she's also murdering people in the process. Is there not a more peaceful solution? Is this the world we live in, where violence is the only answer? Can't we hope for a better future? Which side are you falling on of the whole Ox, Earth, Vanitas type thing, War or peace, or war or saving people, I guess. And that happening right after another parent-child relationship goes pretty wrong, right? Through violent means, It's pretty crazy stuff, right? It's like poetry, it rhymes. Yeah, I love it. This is probably a little bit too quick in retrospect. Soletta going from, oh my god, being shocked and appalled, that you killed them, right? And that kind of side of it, right? The blood splatter on the floor and all that side of it, to what is it, 7 minutes later, squashing a dude like that? That's pretty quick, I don't know. But again, it gets the point across that you're pretty manipulatable, especially by Prospera. Now, this is the sadistic part, right? So you've used this mantra in the show a lot, right? If you run, gain 1, move forward, gain 2. So my mum's always told me that. She's been this kind of motivating factor behind that, and I've used this to get pretty far in life, right? To always protect the ones I love, and to try new things, and to learn from my mistakes, and all that other kind of stuff. It's very nice, right? But when a figure that I respect so very much, a
truly influential figure over me and Prospera uses that same motto that I've internalized so very much, that's brought me so much joy, to influence me to now kill, right? That's when it gets fucked up. It's like true manipulation vibes, right? We're associating, again, bravery and moving forward with murder. You need to murder to move forward, is what she's essentially saying here, right? And the music's playing it for like this big... This is where I got kind of confused. I was wondering where the show would land on this kind of stuff, right? I was wondering if it was trying to play it straight. Like, this was meant to be inspiring. Like, hey, violence is sometimes the answer, and we sometimes have to do this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that hits a weird note. Especially, again, the music, right? It's, you know, telling you how to feel about the situation. I was like, is that genuine? No, it's meant to be, okay, this is what Soletta's feeling. It's meant to disturb and disgust you, I think. And then Prospera's essentially like, hey, move forward, grab Ariel, go murder, go kill people. Soletta's still being nervous about it. I'm scared. I can't do it. What's happening right now is not a duel, Soletta. There's no like game over. There's no win condition. It's actual murder. It's scary, right? You don't want to get hurt. Again, the music's so tonally dissonant here. I love it. They have to know what they're doing, right? It's like this really emotional kind of rendition of the opening and that kind of melody, right? Where it's meant to be this kind of inspiring, really fun, jovial thing, right? And like tug at the heartstrings, but look at it's mismatching with what's happening in the animation. Look how scared Soletta is, and how, like, she doesn't know what the fuck to do. That's so funny. Only you two can save Miorine now. Again, here's the other element. You can only save the people you care about, including your wife. Remember that touching scene you two just had? If you do things this way. I know you're ready to move forward. You want to save her, right? Therefore, get up, clench that fist, ready to punch, step forward onto the blood, and start to murder. And then, yeah, she does just that. She hops in the mobile suit. Sophie finds her, and we kind of aura farm for a bit, look really cool and stuff. It's nice. Soletta comes out. Didn't your mother ever teach you that you can't behave like that? Does Sophie have a... Anyway, that'll be an interesting one to follow. Maybe that was a little bit more disrespectful than you kind of meant it. But more to the point, this is meant to show that Prospera has a huge influence over Soletta, right? Didn't your mother teach you not to behave like that? My mother taught me how to behave. That's what we're implying by that line. I think some of this kind of accoutrement is a little bit new as well. I think Sophie implies that you looked better before when you were less scary looking. I don't know, something like that anyway. They're having like a lightsaber fight, it's cool. And yeah, kind of Soletta really shows out here. It's a 2v1 at the moment, both Nerea and Sophie kind of uniting on the one Gundam here, but the gun bits are putting in work. Where it may be a 2v1 over here, it's an 8v2 in kind of Soletta's own mind, right? Really personifying each of these gun bits, you know? And yeah, this is probably the biggest hype moment of the episode, all the gun bits coming together to enhance this one weapon, right? This kind of expansion out, all the bits coming together. Oh shit, that looks like a big fuck-off gun. Let me fucking get out of here, bro. Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like Soletta kills anybody, but she definitely, like, wanted to. She, like, melted some guy's feet. Sophie is enamored with that kind of move from Soletta as well, only emphasizing this crush slash fascination slash obsession that she has, only for the entire conflict to then fall apart when Dominicas show up. They've got all the dudes here. Obviously, we can't fight all these dudes. We need to retreat. We've reached our time limit. It's time to go, says Naji. And yeah, vowing to see her again, big sister Soletta. We then flash over to Grassley. Sabina says to Shadiq that we just got word that the operation failed. Love this face for Shadiq. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. I stuffed up. We'll see where that goes. I think his dad's not going to like that. Now, this is interesting. We have Elan number 5. Little bit of... Anyway, we won't do that again. But I want to see his phone. So is this like in the news or whatever? To Peel technology from Elan. Oh no, yeah, from Peel to Elan. An attack has happened at Plant Cueta where Gund format was used. We'll contact you later with further instruction. Bro, he's got no motion. He's got no bitches in his phone. That's crazy. Anyway, more importantly, he finds out that there's Earthian Gundams. Does everybody know about that, to the point where the Earthians will continue to be prosecuted more and more? And is what Dawn of Folds did here ultimately going to be make worse things happen for Earthians, right? Like, does that make any sense? Is that where we're kind of going with that? Oh yeah, we definitely see it here, right? So, oh yeah, it's over. Okay, good. And then we see the outside of the Gundam here. That goes blue now. So that's like, oh yeah, okay, different mode. It's kind of like when you shift from like attack mode into love mode, because then the gun bits find Miorine and you jump in and kind of save her by the very end here. Now this stuff's really obvious. I don't really need to go through it in much detail, I think. Miorine is trying to save Delling. A shadowy figure appears out of the shadow. He's about to shoot Delling. I guess he didn't hear that the operation got called off and was all in, I guess, which is fair enough, especially for terrorists. Yeah, even if I can't get back to Earth, I'm taking you down with me. And yeah, hey, here's Ariel. I'm here, the big scary robot. Miss Miorine, let me save the day. Oh no, you don't. Squash. So yeah, I think the use of blood, it's very effective here, I think, right? In combination with the blood from the previous scene with Prospera, of course. Like, we need to demonstrate the true... what's the word? The true nature of killing, right? It's all well and good. It's like, it reminds me of, like, hey, selling going to war versus actual war. War is hell. It's confronting on a human level, right? People's lives can be reduced to nothing in a matter of seconds, right? It's almost like kind of Soletta has been like propagandized, right? Where she sees that the ends are always justifying of the means and removes herself from the human impact of whatever she's doing, right? I think a pretty clear implication here as well is a combination with the metaphor of the tomato, right? This is almost like crushing a tomato, crushing something like that, where we've associated tomatoes with humans so very much, right? Through the kind of visual language. In crushing this person in front of Miorine, you're also crushing what the tomato represents for her, right? True peace, true prosperity for Earthians. We're all the same kind of people on the inside, all that other kind of stuff. All that stuff goes out the window upon this action from Soletta. And yeah, as confronting as possible, human hand flying towards Miorine, she gets covered in blood. And yeah, a normally kind of goofy and fun personality of Soletta is now, like, she doesn't even realize what she's doing. It's almost like a real inhumanness to it, right? Like, it's very, very interesting. It reminds me of Elan, like, a lot. Like, the new Elan. Like, just doesn't care. The ends always justify the means, you know? This is a move towards the dark side. We don't like to see it from Soletta. Again, I'm such a klutz, reaching out with the fucking bloody hand. I came to rescue you, Miorine. The curse of the Gundam indeed, right? How can you smile like that? Murderer. Oh my god. On the dark side, too. Look at the lighting. Yeah, very, very good. Anyway, that's the kind of end here, and then we kind of get a little visual, right? Season 2, she will return in Endgame, and that's our kind of last visual of the episode there. Yeah, the other side of it, too, now that I'm just thinking about, is, like, you using your sister, essentially, as a tool here for murder, too, right? And, again, we've gotten a bit of perspective from Ariel through Cradle Planet. Like, Ariel isn't, like, a violent robot. Like, she doesn't want to do this kind of stuff, right? Like, yeah, I think that's part of it, too. I'm not quite sure how to articulate it, but yeah. That's definitely part of what we're going for. Crazy episodes. I really like that stuff. I thought it was good. Keen to see where we go. Lots of room for expansion with Guel, Elan, Shadiq, Miorine, Nika, loads of storylines. That's not even including the Prospera stuff with the... Was it Quiet Zone? Something like that? Quiet Zero, that was it, of course. How could I have been so blind? What? Yeah, what is that? What does Delling want to do with Gundam stuff for that? Don't know. Anyway, we're going to leave it. Thanks for watching this week. If you want to see next week's, it's on Patreon. Like the video, subscribe, and I'm out of here. Have fun squashing tomatoes in the new world or whatever. I don't know what to say to end the video, man. Alright, catch you later. Goodbye.